don't know what's happening over in Europe, but in the United States, our government is completely captured by corporations. And the military-industrial complex, at the snap of a finger, can get $100 billion sent to the most corrupt country in Europe. And we don't even know where that money's going. In fact, not only that we don't not know where it's going, but when people want to track the money, people in power in the United States, in our Congress, block that legislation at the behest of the military-industrial complex. So we can't even track where that. So this is 100% corruption. And that's the thing about Americans. They don't realize that. They think their government is regular corrupt. Like, oh, Trump gave his son a job. Biden gave his son a job. That's regular corruption. What they don't realize is that the whole entire war is corrupt. It's all one big grift. What they don't realize is the entire military-industrial complex is a big grift. We spend 10 times more in our military than the rest of the goddamn world combined. We are completely corrupted in America. This is not any. People try to say, oh, we have to vote to save our democracy. We haven't had democracy in the United States for decades, and that is not hyperbole. Your government, your democracy was stolen from you decades ago, right? Which is why half the country is poor, low income, 80% of workers live paycheck to paycheck, 50% of wage earners earn less than $30,000 a year. Nobody has, we still don't have health care in America. You go bankrupt if you get sick, you get bankrupt if you go to college, and we're spending endless trillions of dollars on empire and war while we still have people living under every bridge. You know, we're living in a completely corrupted society. So what we need now is for people to lose all hope in the system. So what the AOC and Bernie Sanders are there to do is to keep you believing that the system is going to somehow serve you. It is not. The system is there to crush you while it extracts wealth upwards, which is exactly what they did with COVID. They did a thing called the CARES Act. That was their legislation to help people during COVID. What it was a $5 trillion grift that took money from the U.S. Treasury and gave it to the richest couple of thousand people in the country. You know, in other countries, when they did lockdowns, they made sure the workers got their paycheck. You know, they didn't do that in the United States. They did it in every other country except here. They just locked you down. Then they promised they were going to give you $2,000 in relief, and they didn't even do that. They gave you $1,400. So they've been crushing people in America. And what the establishment has been doing, they implemented a controlled demolition of our economy. And what they want you to do is blame your neighbor for the pain you're feeling because of that, because your neighbor wouldn't take a vaccine that didn't work the way they said it did in the first place. Well, I'm not going to hate my neighbor, and I'm not going to blame my neighbor for the pain I'm feeling because he's being crushed just like everybody else by the same oligarchs.